My beloved child, quiet your heart and read this letter slowly. Do not rush past these words as if they were only another sound moving through your day. I have drawn you into this moment with purpose. I know the weight you have carried. I know the thoughts you have not spoken. I know the quiet places inside you where weariness has been sitting for a long time. This letter is not here to accuse you. It is not here to frighten you or make you feel farther from me. It is here because my love has been reaching for you even in the moments when you did not recognize my hand. I am speaking to the part of you that still wonders if you are seen. I am speaking to the part of you that has tried to stay strong while your heart was asking for rest. My beloved child, take a breath. Let the noise outside you become smaller. Let the voices that have judged you become distant. Let the pressure to understand everything fall from your shoulders. You do not have to solve your whole life before you listen to me. You do not have to fix every weakness before you come close. You only need to open your heart. There are messages you have heard from the world that made your soul tired. The world told you to prove yourself, to hurry, to measure your worth by what you achieve, by who approves of you, by how much you can hold without breaking. But I never asked you to become valuable. You have always been precious to me. Before you learned how to speak, I knew your name. Before anyone praised you, I loved you. Before you understood your own story, I was already present in it. My beloved child, my love did not begin when you became strong. My love did not begin when you learned to smile through pain. My love was there before the first one touched your heart. That is why I ask you not to ignore this letter. Not because I am demanding attention like the world demands it, but because there is healing here for the places you have kept silent. There is truth here for the lies that have followed you. There is rest here for the part of you that has been trying to carry yesterday, today, and tomorrow all at once. Think of Samuel in the quiet of the night. He was not standing before a crowd. He was not performing something great. He was resting in a place where many others may have heard nothing at all. Yet I called his name softly, personally, again and again until he learned to answer. My beloved child, I am calling your heart in the same tender way. I do not always speak through thunder. Sometimes I speak through a sentence that will not leave your mind. Sometimes through a pause you did not plan. Sometimes through a heaviness that finally asks to be brought into my light. Sometimes through a letter like this arriving at the right time when your soul is more ready than you realize. Do not despise the quiet way I come to you. A seed does not shout when it begins to live beneath the soil. Morning does not argue with the darkness before it rises. Rain does not force dry ground to soften in one moment. It simply falls drop by drop until the hardened places begin to receive life again. My beloved child, this is how I often work within you. You may have expected me to change everything around you before I touched anything within you. But I am wiser than your fear. I know where the deepest need is. I know the roots beneath the surface. I know the hidden thirst behind your questions. I know the places where you have learned to survive but not yet learned to be free. So tonight, let this letter enter gently. Do not read it only with your mind. Let it reach your heart. Let it pass through the guarded places where you have told yourself not to feel too much. Let it sit beside the memories you avoid. Let it speak to the child within you who still needs to hear that they are not abandoned. My beloved child, I have seen the ordinary days when you felt unnoticed. I have seen the mornings when you opened your eyes and wished your soul felt lighter. I have seen the nights when the room was quiet, but your thoughts were not. I have seen how often you continued when no one understood how much strength it required. Nothing about you is hidden from me. Not your tears, not your questions, not your disappointment, not your tired faith. And still I draw near. I do not step away because you are weak. I come closer because you are mine. As a shepherd knows the sound of one lamb among many, I know the cry of your heart, even when it has no words. This is why this letter matters. It is a reminder that my presence has not been absent from your life. You may have missed me in the rush, but I did not miss you. You may have felt forgotten in delay, but I was not unaware. You may have thought silence meant distance, but often my silence was the quiet room where I was preparing you to hear me more deeply. Now release the need to pretend. You do not have to come before me polished. You do not have to turn your pain into beautiful language. Come as you are with the ache, the questions, the hope that feels small, and the faith that sometimes trembles. I am not offended by honesty. I am near to the heart that opens truthfully. My beloved child, this letter is not the end of what I want to say to you. It is the doorway. It is the first touch of my hand upon a place in you that I am going to restore. Keep listening. Do not close your heart after the first comfort. I am leading you deeper than a passing emotion. In the next place, I will show you that I am changing you from within. Not quickly for display, not loudly for applause, but patiently like living water entering dry ground, like light returning to a room that forgot the morning could come. Stay with me, my beloved child, and let this important letter begin its work in you. My beloved child, as this important letter begins its quiet work in you, I want you to understand what I am doing beneath the surface. I am changing you from within, not in the hurried way the world celebrates, not through outward polish, temporary excitement, or a sudden emotion that rises today and disappears tomorrow. I am reaching deeper. I am changing you from within, my beloved child, because the deepest wounds were not formed on the outside. They settled in hidden places. They touch the way you see yourself, the way you receive love, the way you trust, the way you pray, and the way you face each new morning. So my healing must go deeper than appearance. You have often tried to change from the outside first. You tried to stand stronger, speak better, smile longer, work harder, and become someone others could approve of. But there were still places inside you that felt tired, unseen, and afraid. I saw those places. I did not condemn them. I came to restore them. My beloved child, I do not decorate a wounded heart and call it healed. I do not cover fear with religious words and call it freedom. I do not ask you to pretend that everything is whole while hidden rooms inside you still ache. I am the Father who enters gently, touches truthfully, and rebuilds patiently. There is a promise I have spoken through. My word, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I will remove the heart of stone and give a heart that can live again. This is not only a verse to remember. It is a work I am carrying out in you slowly, faithfully, with love. A heart becomes hard for many reasons. It hardens when disappointment visits again and again. It hardens when trust is broken. It hardens when prayers seem delayed. It hardens when people misunderstand your pain. It hardens when you have to keep functioning while your soul is quietly grieving. My beloved child, I know how those layers formed, but I also know how to soften what life made hard. I do not force the stone to feel. I pour my love like warm rain. I speak truth without cruelty. I bring remembrance without shame. I let mercy touch one layer at a time until the heart that once protected itself begins to breathe again. Do not be discouraged if the change feels slow. A garden does not become fruitful because someone stands over it and shouts. It grows because the soil is tended, watered, warmed, and protected through time. I am tending the soil of your soul. I am removing what choked life. I am planting what will remain. You may not see the full change yet, but I see the first signs. I see when anger rises, but does not rule you as before. I see when fear comes near, yet you pause and listen for my voice. I see when you choose prayer instead of despair. I see when you tell the truth instead of hiding behind silence. My beloved child, these small shifts matter. Heaven sees them. Do not measure transformation only by what others notice. Some of my deepest work happens before anyone can name it. Roots grow in darkness before branches carry fruit in the light. What I am doing in secret will one day become visible through your peace, patience, and love. Remember Lydia by the river? She was listening, and I opened her heart to receive what was spoken. Her change did not begin with noise or display. It began with an opened heart. My beloved child, I am opening your heart too. I am making you able to receive what you once could only hear from a distance. There are truths you used to resist because they felt too tender. There were words of love you could not fully believe because pain had trained you to doubt kindness. There were promises you wanted to trust, yet fear kept asking for proof. I am not angry with that struggle. I am healing the place where trust was bruised. I am changing the way you think. Old thoughts once returned like familiar roads leading you back to shame, worry, comparison, or regret. Now I am placing new paths within your mind. When the old voice says you are forgotten, my truth will rise and say you are held. When the old voice says you are too late, my truth will say I am still leading you. I am changing the way you see yourself. You are not a collection of failures. You are not the sum of what people did not understand. You are not the name others gave you during your weakest season. You are mine. And when you begin to see yourself through my love, you will stop agreeing with every shadow that speaks against you. I am changing the way you respond to pain. Before pain may have made you close your heart quickly, speak sharply, withdraw silently, or carry burdens alone. But as my spirit works within you, pain will no longer have to become a prison. It will become a place where I meet you, teach you, and lead you into deeper compassion. This does not mean you will never struggle. It means struggle will no longer define the whole of you. You may still have questions, but questions will not separate you from my love. You may still have weak days, but weakness will not cancel my purpose. You may still feel unfinished, but unfinished does not mean forsaken. My beloved child, I am patient with what I am growing. Be patient with it too. Do not tear open the seed because you want to see the harvest. Do not accuse yourself because you are still learning. Do not compare your hidden process with someone else's visible fruit. I know the pace your soul can bear. Let me keep working in the places you cannot fix by effort. Let me renew the thoughts that have become heavy. Let me heal the memories that still echo. Let me restore the tenderness you thought you lost. Let me teach your heart that safety is not found in control, but in closeness with me. One day, you will look back and realize that you are not reacting the way you once did. You are not breaking where you once broke. You are not searching for worth in the places that once emptied you. You are becoming quieter inside, steadier in spirit, and more alive in love. This is my hand, so receive this. Work, my beloved child. Do not rush it. Do not resist it. Do not despise its quietness. I am changing you from within, and what I begin in love, I do not abandon halfway. Even your slowest step is seen by me, and every honest return becomes part of the holy renewal I am forming inside your faithful waiting heart. In the next place, I will show you that your worth was never in the world's praise, because before anyone applauded you, I had already called you precious. My beloved child, as I continue changing you from within, I want to speak to one of the deepest places in your heart. Your worth was never in the world's praise. Before anyone noticed your effort, before anyone approved your steps, I had already called you precious. Your worth was never in the world's praise, my beloved child. The world praises loudly one day and forgets quickly the next. It claps for what shines, then turns away when another light appears. It measures people by results, appearance, usefulness, and speed. But I do not measure you that way. I look at you through love that began before the world ever learned your name. You have spent many seasons trying to be enough for eyes that were never meant to define you. You tried to become stronger so others would respect you. You tried to carry more so no one would be disappointed. You tried to hide your need so people would not think you were weak. You tried to stay useful because deep inside you feared being forgotten. My beloved child, I saw that hidden fear. I saw how much pressure you placed on your own shoulders. I saw the quiet ache behind your striving. I saw the moments when praise gave you a little relief, but only for a short while, because soon you needed more proof that you mattered. That is not the freedom I created you to live in. The praise of the world can never become a safe home for your soul. It changes with moods, opinions, and seasons. If you build your identity on applause, your peace will rise and fall with every voice around you. But if your identity rests in my love, you can stand steady even when no one understands your path. My beloved child, I want you to hear this. You were not created to beg for worth from people who do not know your whole story. They saw pieces. I saw the whole. They saw what you produced. I saw what you endured. They saw the outside. I saw the tears, the prayers, the restraint, the courage, and the hidden obedience. Remember Hagar in the wilderness? Others had pushed her aside, and her heart was heavy with fear and rejection. Yet I saw her. I met her in the lonely place. I heard the cry. Beneath her silence, she called me the God who sees. My beloved child, I am the same God with you. I see you where others overlook you. You may feel unseen because people did not celebrate what cost so much. You may feel small because the world rewarded someone else's noise while your quiet faithfulness stayed hidden. But heaven does not miss what earth ignores. The kindness no one thanked you for, I saw it. The burden you carried, I saw it. The courage it took to keep walking, I saw it. Do not confuse visibility with value. A root is hidden, yet it holds the tree. A foundation is covered, yet it carries the house. A prayer whispered in secret can move what public words cannot touch. My beloved child, the hidden places of your life are not wasted before me. They are often where your truest strength is being formed. I know the world teaches comparison. It asks who has more, who moved faster, who looks stronger, who receives attention, who seems blessed. But comparison is a narrow room. It makes the soul forget its own calling. I did not design you to live by measuring your journey against another person's road. I formed you with intention. Before Jeremiah could speak for me, I said I knew him before he was formed in the womb. I set him apart before his voice was recognized by others. My beloved child, I knew you before your story became visible. Your worth did not begin when people learned what you could offer. It began in my heart. You may ask, Father, if I am already precious, why have I felt so unwanted at times? My beloved child, the pain of being overlooked is real, but it is not the final truth about you. Human blindness does not cancel divine knowledge. Human rejection does not erase my choosing. Human silence does not mean heaven is silent over your life. There were seasons when you worked hard and still felt unnoticed. Seasons when you loved sincerely and still were not valued. Seasons when you gave from a tired heart and wondered who cared. I cared. I was present in the room. I was near in the silence. I kept record not to accuse, but to remember what love did when no one else was looking. Let my love release you from the exhausting need to prove. You do not have to keep performing for a place in my heart. You do not have to become impressive before I draw near. You do not have to polish your weakness before I hold you. A child is not loved because they earn the father's embrace. A child is embraced because they belong. My beloved child, you belong to me. Let that truth become stronger than the voice of rejection. Let it become stronger than the ache of not being chosen by people whose approval you thought you needed. My love is not consolation after the world fails you. My love is the beginning of your worth. When you know this, your life begins to change. You can serve without secretly begging to be seen. You can give without losing yourself. You can rest without guilt. You can say no without feeling worthless. You can succeed without making success your master. You can fail without believing failure has renamed you. I am not asking you to despise encouragement or reject every kind word. Praise can be a gift when it is received with humility, but it must never become your source. Let appreciation pass with gratitude, but do not build your soul upon it. Let my voice remain the ground beneath you. My beloved child, I am teaching you to live from being loved, not toward being loved. There is a great difference. When you live toward love, you are always reaching, always proving, always wondering if you have done enough. When you live from love, your heart can breathe. You move, work, give, and grow from a place already held by me. So let this important letter loosen the old hunger for approval. Let it quiet the question that has followed you for years. Am I enough? In my presence, you do not have to chase an answer. I have already spoken it over you. You are mine. You are seen. You are known. You are loved with an everlasting love. And as this truth settles deeper, I will show you how my love meets you. Not only in great spiritual moments, but in the ordinary rhythm of your days. In the next place, I will remind you that I am with you when you wake tired, when you work quietly, when you sit alone, and when the smallest hours of your life feel unnoticed. My beloved child, now that you know your worth was never in the world's praise, I want to bring my love into the places you often overlook. I am with you in ordinary days. Not only when your heart feels lifted in worship, not only when tears fall during prayer. I am with you in ordinary days. My beloved child, I am with you when morning comes quietly and you open your eyes before you are ready. I am with you when you are tired, when your mind reaches for the duties ahead and your heart whispers, "Give me strength." Do not think I only meet you in holy buildings or moments that feel powerful. I am not distant from the small corners of your life. I am near when you wash your face. I am near when you prepare a simple meal. I am near when you sit quietly and wonder why your soul feels heavy. My beloved child, nothing about your ordinary life is too small for my attention. The cup in your hand, the road you travel, the work you repeat, the messages you answer, the waiting between tasks, I see it all. I am not bored by your daily life. I am present in it. The world often makes you believe that only visible moments matter. It celebrates the stage, the success, the milestone, the thing others can notice and name. But I have always done a deep work in hidden places. I formed David in fields before anyone called him king. I taught him worship while he watched sheep. Those pasture days looked ordinary to others, but they were sacred to me. Every hour, every song under the open sky, every quiet act of faithfulness was shaping something no one yet understood. My beloved child, the same is true for you. The days that feel unnoticed may be where I am forming strength, tenderness, and trust. I am with you when no one applauds your consistency. I am with you when you do what needs to be done and no one shares thank you. I am with you when you choose patience in a conversation that tests you. I am with you when you keep your heart soft, though life has given you reasons to harden. Do not separate your life into sacred and ordinary. If you invite me, the whole day can become a place of communion. Your work can become worship when done with a surrendered heart. Your rest can become worship when received without guilt. Your silence can become prayer when you sit before me. Scripture reminds you that whatever you do, you may do it for my glory. This means the ordinary rhythm of your life can carry meaning. Preparing food, caring for someone, driving quietly, waiting in a line, breathing through weariness. All of it can become holy when your heart remains aware of me. My beloved child, I see the small faithfulness you dismiss. I see the way you keep trying when you feel unseen. I see the decision to forgive before your emotions fully agree. I see the moment you choose not to answer harshly. I see the prayer whispered under your breath because you lack strength for many words. You sometimes think ordinary days mean nothing is happening, but growth often wears plain clothing. Healing often arrives without announcement. Peace often enters quietly while you're doing something simple. A seed beneath soil does not look important to the passing eye, yet life is gathering there in silence. I am gathering life within you in the same way. There are moments when you feel far from me because your emotions are quiet. You think closeness must always feel intense, but my presence is not proven only by strong feelings. I am still near when you feel steady. I am still near when you feel dry. I am still near when your day feels plain and your prayer feels small. Remember the two disciples walking to Emmaus. They were on an ordinary road carrying disappointment and speaking about what they did not understand. They did not recognize that my son was walking with them. Yet, he was near explaining, listening, and drawing their hearts back to hope. My beloved child, I often walk beside you before you recognize me. I am with you on the road between what hurts you and what I am revealing. I am with you in the questions spoken quietly. I am with you when your understanding feels delayed. I am with you when you look back and wonder why some things happened as they did. I am not absent from the road because you have not reached the answer. Let your ordinary days become places where you notice me. When light enters through a window, remember that my mercy is new. When you drink water, remember that I refresh the soul. When you hear a familiar sound, remember that I am near in the rhythm of life. When you feel tired, remember that I do not despise human limits. My beloved child, I do not ask you to perform spirituality for me. I ask you to walk with me. Speak to me while you work. Rest in me while you pause. Bring me the small worry before it grows large. Thank me for the little. Mercy before you forget, it was a gift. Let me be included as Father. There will be ordinary days when nothing changes yet obedience grows roots. There will be ordinary days when you do not feel brave yet you keep choosing trust. There will be ordinary days when you cannot see progress, yet heaven sees your heart becoming steadier. Do not despise these days. They are part of the letter I am writing through your life. Even my son lived hidden years before his public ministry. He knew the rhythm of a home, the labor of hands, the sound of daily life and quiet obedience. Those years were not wasted, my beloved child, if hidden years were not wasted in his life. Your hidden days are not wasted in yours. I am with you in the kitchen, in the workplace, in the quiet room, on the road beside the bed, and in the pause before sleep. I am with you when you feel strong and when you do not. I am with you when the day feels meaningful and when it feels like you survived it. So live today aware of my nearness. You do not need to wait for a dramatic sign to know I am present. I am already here. I am in the breath I sustain, the peace I offer, the strength I give, the quiet correction I speak, and returning love. My beloved child, when you begin to recognize me in ordinary days, your life will no longer feel divided between spiritual moments and everything else. You will discover that every small hour can become a doorway to my presence. And in the next place, I will teach you to sit near me before you run. Because closeness with my beloved child, now that you are learning to notice me in the ordinary rhythm of your days, I want to lead you into something even deeper. Learn to sit near me before you run, before the work begins, before the worry takes shape, before the day pulls your mind in many directions. Come close to me. Learn to sit near me before you run, my beloved child. I know how quickly your heart tries to move. I know the moment you wake, your thoughts can rush ahead of your body. You begin counting responsibilities, remembering unfinished things, preparing for conversations, and carrying burdens. But I did not create you to begin each day already exhausted. I did not call you to live as if everything depends on how fast you can move. There is a strength that does not come from rushing. There is a wisdom that does not come from overthinking. There is a peace that is only received when you sit close enough to hear my voice. The world tells you to run first and rest later. It tells you to prove your value by motion, by productivity. But my beloved child, a life that never pauses before me becomes dry, even when it looks active. A heart can do many things and still feel far from home. Remember Mary sitting at the feet of my son while Martha was troubled by many tasks. Martha's service was not meaningless. Her hands were busy with care, but her heart had become stretched by worry. Mary chose to be near before anything else. My son called that the better portion not because work has no place, but because closeness must come before striving. I am not asking you to abandon responsibility. I am asking you not to let responsibility become your master. I am not asking you to stop serving. I am asking you to stop serving from emptiness. I am not asking you to ignore the needs around you. I am asking you to come to me first, so you do not lose yourself while trying to answer them. My beloved child sitting near me is not wasted time. It is where your soul is gathered back together. It is where anxious thoughts lose some of their noise. It is where your motives are washed. It is where your heart remembers what matters. It is where you stop carrying burdens I never placed in your hands. Sometimes sitting near me looks like a quiet prayer before the day begins. Sometimes it looks like reading one line of my word and letting it breathe inside you. Sometimes it looks like closing your eyes for a moment and saying, Father, I am here. Lead me. Sometimes it looks like honest silence. When words are too tired to come, do not make this complicated. I am not measuring the beauty of your sentences. I am not counting how long you can stay still to decide whether you are worthy of my nearness. I am your Father. When you turn your heart toward me, even with a weak whisper, I receive you. Draw near to me, and I will draw near to you. My beloved child, the enemy would love to keep you hurried. A hurried soul is easier to confuse. A hurried soul reacts before listening. A hurried soul mistakes pressure for guidance and urgency for obedience. But when you sit with me, discernment begins to clear. You can recognize which burden is yours and which one fear invented. There are things you have been carrying simply because you did not pause long enough to ask me. There are tasks you said yes to because guilt was louder than peace. There are worries you kept rehearsing because stillness felt unfamiliar. Come sit near me, and I will teach you what to release, what to keep, what to wait on, and what to do next. Even my son withdrew to lonely places to pray. He was surrounded by need, followed by crowds, pressed by suffering. And yet he still came away to be with me. The secret place is not escape. It is where love strengthens you for the road. You often think strength means moving without stopping. But sometimes, strength is the courage to be still when everything in you wants to panic. Be still and know that I am God. That stillness is not weakness. It is trust learning to breathe. It is the soul remembering that I hold what your hands cannot hold, my beloved child, before you run into the day. Sit near me before you answer the message. Sit near me before you carry the heavy conversation in your mind. Sit near me before you decide from fear. Sit near me before you try to fix what is hurting. Sit near me. Let my presence become the first place your heart goes. When you do this, your work will change. You will still have things to do, but you will not do them as one abandoned. You will still serve, but not from the fear of being unwanted. You will still make decisions, but not from panic. You will still face people, but you will not need their reaction to become your weather. Sitting near me will teach you a slower courage. It will make your words cleaner. It will make your love wiser. It will make your patience deeper. It will help you notice when you are acting from old wounds rather than present grace. It will return you to truth before emotion carries you too far. Do not be ashamed of needing me before you begin. Need is not failure. Dependence on me is not weakness. A branch does not apologize for needing the wind. You were made to live connected, not independent from the one who gives you breath. I know some days will still begin. I know life does not always offer quiet rooms and peaceful mornings. But even in a busy day, you can return inwardly. One breath can become prayer. One pause can become surrender. One sentence from my word can become bread for the next step. I can meet you in small step. Let this important letter remind you that you do not need to earn rest after exhaustion. You can receive my presence before the striving begins. Let me order your heart before the world asks for your attention. Let me fill your cup before others drink from it. Let me steady you before the winds of the day rise. So come close, my beloved child. Sit with me before you run. Let your head rest against the truth that you are loved, guided, and held. The day will still have its tasks, but they will not own you. The road will still require steps, but you will not walk alone. And as you learn to sit near me before you run, my word will begin to become life within you. In the next place, I will show you that my word is not only something to read when you are desperate, but the living bread, clear light, and steady voice that will guide every season of your life. My beloved child, as you learn to sit near me before you run, I want to place something living within you. My word will become life in you. Not only words on a page, not only verses you remember, in moments of trouble. My word will become bread for your hunger, water for your dryness, light for your next step, and strength for the parts of you that feel weak. My word will become life in you, my beloved child. There were times when you came to my word only because your heart had no other place to go. You searched for comfort when fear was loud. You searched for direction when the road felt unclear. You searched for hope when your own thoughts became too heavy. I received you there, but now I am calling you deeper. I do not want my word to be only an emergency shelter for your soul. I want it to become the rhythm by which you live. Just as your body needs breath without being reminded, your spirit needs my truth continually. Without it, your inner life becomes dry. With it, even the driest places can begin to receive rain. My beloved child, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. This is not meant to burden you. It is meant to free you. The world feeds your mind with fear, comparison, hurry, suspicion, and noise. My word feeds you with truth, peace, correction, hope, and life that does not fade. When my word begins to live in you, it will gently interrupt the old voices. When shame shares you are too broken, my word will remind you that I restore the crushed in spirit. When fear says you are alone, my word will remind you that I will never leave you. When confusion says there is no way, my word will become a lamp for your feet. Notice this, my beloved child. A lamp does not always show the whole road. It gives enough light for the next step. Many times you have asked me to reveal the entire path before you move, but I often guide by one faithful step at a time. My word will not always satisfy your desire to control the future, but it will give enough light to obey today. Think of Joshua standing near the edge of a new land after Moses had gone. The people had known wilderness, waiting, and uncertainty. I did not give him a full map of every battle ahead. I told him to be strong and courageous and to keep my word close, meditating on it day and night. My beloved child, courage grows where my word is kept near. There are battles before you that cannot be won by emotion alone. There are decisions that cannot be guided by fear. There are relationships that require wisdom greater than your feelings. There are wounds that need truth stronger than memory. My word will become that strength inside you. It will teach you when to speak, when to wait, when to forgive, when to rest, and when to walk forward. Do not treat my word as a distant law written only for others. Let it come close. Let it sit with you in the morning. Let it ride with you on the road. Let it enter the quiet space before sleep. Let it meet you when you wash dishes, when you answer messages, when you feel misunderstood, when you feel tempted to return to old fear. My beloved child, my word is not cold ink. It is alive. It searches without shaming. It corrects without cruelty. It comforts without lying. It cuts away what is false, so what is true can breathe. When you allow my word to enter, it will reach places your own reasoning could never heal. Sometimes one sentence from me will carry you through an entire season. One promise remembered at the right moment can keep despair from becoming your home. One truth whispered by my spirit can stop a reaction before it becomes regret. One scripture hidden in your heart can become a shield when old accusations return. You may say, "Father, I do not always understand what I read." My beloved child, bring me your confusion too. You do not need to master everything before my word can feed you. A child does not understand every ingredient in the bread, yet the bread still gives strength. Come with humility, and I will teach you slowly. I will make my word personal without making it selfish. I will show you how truth speaks to your hidden place while still drawing you into love, obedience, and wisdom. I will not use my word to flatter your pride. I will use it to free your heart. I will not use it to keep you small. I will use it to make you whole. There will be days when you feel nothing while reading, yet something is still being planted. Do not judge the seed by the silence of the soil. My word often works beneath awareness. It renews thought patterns slowly. It softens old reactions. It strengthens faith quietly. It prepares you before you know why you needed preparation. Remember the disciples on. The road after sorrow had clouded their understanding. My son opened the scriptures to them as they walked, and later they realized their hearts had been burning within them. My beloved child, my word can warm places in you that grief made cold. It can open meaning where disappointment made your vision dim. Let my word become the language of your inner life. When worry begins, its speech answer with my promise. When anger rises, let my truth slow your tongue. When temptation pulls, let my voice remind you who you are. When loneliness speaks, let my love become louder. Over time, you will not only read my word will begin to read you, guide you, and steady you. This is how transformation becomes daily. Not only through great moments, but through repeated returns to truth, morning by morning, night by night, choice by choice. My word will wash the dust from your thoughts. It will teach your heart to recognize my voice. It will help you discern what is peace and what is pressure, what is love and what is fear. My beloved child, do not rush past this gift. Do not let the noise of the world become more familiar than my voice. Make a room for me. Even a small portion received with an open heart can become a river within you. I can take one line and use it to sustain you, correct you, comfort you, and lead you. As my word becomes life in you, your eyes will change. You will begin to see darkness differently. You will realize that the light I place within you is not fragile. In the next place, I will show you that my light in you cannot be extinguished. No matter how loud the world becomes, no matter how heavy the night appears, and no matter how fiercely fear tries to rise around you, my beloved child, as my word becomes life within you, your eyes will begin to change. You will no longer look at darkness as though it has the final authority. You will begin to understand that the light I placed in you did not come from the world. And because it did not come from the world cannot extinguish it. My light in you cannot be extinguished. My beloved child, it may be tested by storms. It may be surrounded by voices of fear. It may seem small when the night grows loud. But do not confuse small with weak. A single flame in a dark room can change what the whole room feels like. There are days when the world seems heavy. News rises with sorrow. People speak from anger. Hearts grow cold. Loss, betrayal, sickness, division, and sudden change make many souls tremble. You may look around and wonder how peace can survive in such a restless place. But I want you to remember this. My light shines in darkness, and darkness has not overcome it. My beloved child, darkness can make noise, but it cannot create truth. Fear can make threats, but it cannot become your master unless you surrender your agreement to it. Confusion can surround you, but it cannot remove my presence from the center of your soul. I am teaching you to live from the light within, not from the shadow around you. You have had seasons when your heart felt dim. You kept going, but inwardly. You wondered if hope was fading. You smiled, but your spirit felt tired. You prayed, but part of you wondered if the night would ever loosen its grip. I saw you there. I saw the small flame you protected when everything around you felt cold. My beloved child, I did not despise that small flame. I breathed upon it with mercy. I guarded it when you had no strength to guard it yourself. I sent reminders, quiet comforts, words at the right time, and moments of unexplained peace, so you would know I was still near. That flame remained because I remained. Think of Daniel in the lion's den. The darkness of that night was real. The danger around him was real. The stone was placed. The voices of men had spoken. And to human eyes, there seemed to be no way out. Yet my presence was there before morning came. The lions did not disappear, but their power was restrained. It is the same with you, my beloved child. I do not always remove every fearful place before proving my faithfulness. Sometimes I meet you in the middle of it. Sometimes the room remains dark for a while, but my presence becomes the light that keeps your soul from surrendering to despair. Sometimes the miracle is not that the den is gone, but that you are not alone inside it. Do not measure my protection only by what I remove. Measure it also by how I keep you steady through what remains. I have held you in moments when fear should have swallowed your peace. I have strengthened you when your own strength was thin. I have kept your heart from going completely cold when life gave you reasons to shut it down. My beloved child, the light within you grows when you stay near me. It grows when you let my words speak louder than the news of the world. It grows when you choose prayer instead of panic. It grows when you give thanks for small mercies. It grows when you refuse to let bitterness become the language of your soul. There will be people who carry darkness in their words. They may speak discouragement over your future. They may remind you of past failures. They may tell you that nothing will change. Do not receive every word spoken around you as truth. Bring it into my light. Let my voice decide what belongs inside your heart. There will also be inner shadows that rise from old wounds. A memory may return. A fear may whisper. A disappointment may try to interpret the future for you. When this happens, do not panic. Bring the shadow to me. Light does not fear being brought into a dark place. Light enters and darkness begins to lose its shape. My beloved child, I am not asking you to pretend that darkness does not exist. Faith is not denial. Faith is choosing my truth while the shadow is still visible. Faith is saying, Father, I see the storm, but I know you are with me. I see the uncertainty, but I know your hand is steady. I see the night, but I know your light remains. Remember Paul and Silas in prison. Their feet were fastened, the walls were closed, and midnight surrounded them. Yet they prayed and sung. They did not wait for freedom before worship began. Worship rose inside the prison, and heaven answered. My beloved child, the place that tries to silence you can become the place where my light breaks through. You may feel confined by circumstances today. You may not see the door opening yet. You may feel pressed by responsibilities, waiting, or questions. But the light in you does not depend on the door being open. It depends on me. If I am with you, then even a closed place can become holy ground. Guard the light, my beloved child, but do not fear for it. A lamp must be tended, but it does not produce its own fire. Stay close to me. Let prayer become oil. Let my word become flame. Let obedience become the steady wick. Let gratitude clear the smoke. I will keep burning what I have kindled. The enemy wants you to believe your light is almost gone. He wants you to mistake weariness for defeat. He wants you to think one hard season has erased what I began. But I tell you the truth, what I have lit in you is guarded by my love. Your weekday does not cancel my calling. Your tears do not extinguish my promise. My beloved child, when darkness feels near, come closer. Do not isolate with fear. Do not feed your mind only with what troubles you. Do not let the world disciple your imagination. Let me fill your thoughts with truth. Let me remind you that you belong to a kingdom that cannot be shaken. So lift your eyes again. Not because the world has become easy, but because I am still Lord over every hour you face. The night is not your identity. The storm is not your Name. You are a child of light held by the Father, carried by grace, and surrounded by a love no darkness can conquer now in every season ahead. And as my light remains in you, waiting will begin to look different. You will see that even delays are not empty darkness when I am present. In the next place, I will show you that your waiting is not wasted, because beneath what feels silent, I am preparing roots, answers, strength, and a future held carefully in my hands. My beloved child, as you learn that my light in you cannot be extinguished, I want you to look again at the seasons you have called delay. Your waiting is not wasted. The unanswered prayer is not forgotten. The door that has not opened is not proof that I have stopped working. I am closer than the delay feels. And my love is steady while your heart learns to wait faithfully. Your waiting is not wasted, my beloved child. I know how heavy time can feel when your heart is longing for an answer. I know the ache of watching days pass while nothing seems to move. I know the questions that rise when you have prayed, trusted, cried, and still the visible world appears unchanged. But I want you to understand something important. Waiting with me is never the same as being abandoned. Silence is not the same as absence. Delay is not the same as denial. A seed hidden under the soil may appear buried, but within the darkness, life is being prepared. Roots are forming unseen. My beloved child, many of the things I prepare for you require a deeper root than you first understood. If I gave certain blessings, before your heart was ready, the gift itself could become heavy. If I opened certain doors before your spirit was steady, the doorway you prayed for could pull you away from me. I love you too much to rush what must be formed with care. You have asked me why some answers take so long. Sometimes the waiting is protecting you. Sometimes it is strengthening you. Sometimes it is revealing what your heart trusts. Sometimes it is preparing people, places, and timing beyond what you can see. You look at one closed door. I see the whole road. Remember Abraham, my beloved child. I gave him a promise long before he held the child he had been waiting for. Years passed. His body grew older. The promise seemed impossible to humanize. Yet my word had not died. What looked delayed was still alive in my faithfulness. I had not forgotten what I had spoken. This is how I want you to view your waiting. Not as a hallway where hope goes to fade, but as a sacred place where faith learns to breathe without constant evidence. Faith is not only trusting me when the answer is already in your hands. Faith is trusting my heart when your hands are still empty. I see how tired you become when you try to calculate everything. You search for signs. You replay conversations. You wonder if you missed an instruction. You measure your worth by whether the answer has arrived. My beloved child, come back to me. I am not asking you to solve the hidden timing of your life. I am asking you to remain close. There is a peace that can only be learned while waiting. It is not the shallow peace of having everything settled. It is the deeper peace of knowing that I am still good when you do not understand. It is the peace that says, Father, I cannot see the whole picture, but I believe your hand is still faithful. Your waiting is also teaching you to release control. You may want to force the season open, but a flower forced before its time is damaged by the very hands that wanted to see it bloom. I know when the soil is ready. I know when the sun must rise. I know when what is hidden should finally appear. My beloved child, do not despise the hidden work. A child grows in secret before being held in the open. A pearl is formed slowly in a hidden place. Bread dough rises quietly before it feeds anyone. There are holy processes that cannot be hurried without losing their beauty. I am shaping something in you that must be grown, not grabbed. You may not feel strong in the waiting. That does not mean you are failing. Sometimes faith looks like getting up again. Sometimes it looks like praying simply. Sometimes it looks like not returning to despair even when the answer has not come. Sometimes it looks like placing your tired heart in my hands for one more day. I remember every tear you have cried in the waiting. None has fallen outside my care. The prayer you whispered in the night, I heard it. The disappointment you tried to hide, I saw it. The moment you wondered if hope was foolish, I came close. I do not mock the heart that struggles to keep believing. My beloved child, let me tell you what waiting is not. It is not wasted time. It is not punishment. It is not proof that you are less loved. It is not evidence that heaven has become silent toward you. Waiting can become a room where my presence teaches you to know me beyond outcomes. Think of Simeon in the temple. He waited for the consolation of Israel carrying a promise. Many days may have looked ordinary, yet at the appointed time, he held the child of promise in his arms. My beloved child, what I appoint will not miss you. There is an appointed time for what I prepare, not according to the fear that rushes you, not according to comparison, not according to the voices that say you are late. My timing is not careless. I make everything beautiful in its time, and I know the time that will serve your soul. While you wait, let gratitude keep your heart soft. Thank me for the strength you still have. Thank me for breath. Thank me for the small guidance, the small comfort, the small mercy that arrives when you need it. Gratitude will not erase the longing, but it will keep longing from becoming bitterness. While you wait, keep doing the next faithful thing. Do not freeze your whole life because one answer has not arrived. Love where you are. Serve with sincerity. Rest when you need rest. Speak truth. Choose peace. Let this season become communion with me, not only a place you are desperate to escape. My beloved child, the answer will not be late. It may not come in the shape you expected. It may arrive through an unnoticed door, an unexpected person, or a quiet change in you before anything changes around you. But I will be faithful. I have never wasted one surrendered season. So trust me here. Trust me in the unfinished. Trust me in the quiet. Trust me when the calendar seems to move faster than the promise. Trust me when others move ahead and you feel still. I am not behind. I am not confused. I am preparing what belongs to my purpose and your healing. And as you begin to see that your waiting is not wasted, your eyes will open to my faithfulness in smaller places. In the next part of this letter, I will teach you to recognize my care in simple things, in daily bread, timely words, quiet strength, and the gentle signs that have been telling you all along that I am near. My beloved child, as you begin to understand that your waiting is not wasted, I want to open your eyes to something tender. Recognize my faithfulness in small things. Do not look only for me in great doors, sudden miracles, or moments of wonder. I am present in the quiet mercies you pass by each day. Recognize my faithfulness in small things, my beloved child. The breath that enters your lungs before you ask for it. The morning light that returns after a long night. The meal that gives your body strength. The message that arrives when your heart needs encouragement. The peace that touches you even while questions remain. Many times you have asked me for a sign while standing inside my care. You searched the distance for proof that I remembered you while my mercy was already near. You wanted a thunderous answer. Yet I was speaking through provision, protection, restraint, timing, and quiet comfort. My beloved child, I have been faithful in more ways than you noticed. The heart that learns to see small mercies becomes less easily conquered by despair. When you only look for the large thing, you may miss daily evidence of my nearness. But when your eyes become gentle, you begin to see traces of my love everywhere. A safe arrival, a needed rest, a soft word, a closed door that protected you. Do not despise small things. I have often hidden great beginnings inside what looked ordinary. A shepherd's staff in Moses' hand, a sling in David's hand, a little oil in a widow's jar, a few loaves placed before my son. Human eyes called them small. My hand turned them into signs of my power. My beloved child, the small thing in your life may be carrying more grace than you realize. The little strength you still have, the quiet desire to pray again, the tiny hope that refuses to die, the ability to forgive one layer more, the courage to get through today. These are places where my faithfulness is breathing. Remember the widow in Zarephath? Her flour was nearly gone. Her oil she made too little to sustain life. To human eyes, lack had the final word. Yet I met her through what remained. I did not require abundance before I showed my care. I revealed provision in the handful. My beloved child, I can do the same with what feels little in you. You may think, Father, I do not have much faith today. I do not have much strength. I do not have much joy. I do not have a clear plan. Bring me what remains. I am not limited by the size of what you hold. I receive the trust that places it in my hands. My faithfulness is not only seen when life overflows. It is also seen when I sustain you with enough for the next step. Enough light to keep walking. Enough peace to sleep tonight. Enough courage to tell the truth. Enough grace to not return to what harmed you. Enough hope to whisper my name again. My beloved child, there were days when you thought you were bodily surviving. But look closely. You were being kept. Sorrow did not consume you. Fear did not own you completely. Disappointment did not erase my call. Something within you kept turning toward me even faintly. That was not your strength alone. That was my faithful hand. I know you sometimes overlook ordinary provision because your heart is focused on what is missing. You see the unanswered prayer and miss the strength I gave while you waited. You see the closed door and miss the road I kept you from taking. You see the loneliness and miss the way I sat with you in the silence. My beloved child, ask me for eyes that can see. I am not scolding you for missing these things. Pain can narrow vision. Weariness can make the soul forget to notice. Waiting can make the heart stare at one place so long that it stops seeing the garden around it. I am gently lifting your face. I am teaching you to recognize me again. Every good and perfect gift comes from above. Not only the gifts that seem grand, but the daily gifts that quietly hold your life together. The cup of water, the breath after crying, the strength to begin again, the person who listened, the scripture that returned, the peace that made no sense yet carried you. My beloved child, when you recognize my faithfulness in small things, fear loses some of its voice. Fear says, you are alone, but small mercies answer, he is near. Fear says nothing is changing, but small mercies answer, he is still working. Fear says you have been forgotten, but small mercies answer, he remembered you today. This is why I want you to slow down. Hurry makes miracles look common. Noise makes my whispers harder to hear. Worry makes provision look accidental. But a quiet heart begins to notice. It sees that the day was not empty. It sees that grace had been placed along the road like small lamps in the dark. Think of my people in the wilderness. I did not give them manna for a lifetime. In one moment, I gave daily bread. Morning by morning, they had to gather what I provided. Their trust was trained by daily supply. My beloved child, I am still teaching hearts to depend on me one day at a time. You may want a storehouse full enough to remove all need for trust. But I often give daily mercy, so relationship stays alive. If you had every answer at once, you might stop listening. If every need were settled far ahead, you might forget the sweetness of walking with me. Daily. Bread keeps your hand in mine. Recognize the small protection. The plan that changed and later made sense. The relationship that faded before it could wound you deeper. The opportunity that did not come because I was guarding your peace. The inner check that told you to pause. My beloved child, not every blessing arrives looking like increase. Some blessings arrive as prevention. Recognize the small strengthening. The moment you did not respond from anger. The morning you rose after a hard night. The prayer you prayed even though it was short. The kindness you offered though you were tired. The boundary you held though your voice trembled. I saw it. I was in it. I was helping you recognize the small comfort. A song that softened your heart. A memory that reminded you of my goodness. A breeze in a heavy afternoon. A line from my word that seemed written for that moment. They are letters within the letter. Quiet marks of my care. My beloved child, the more you recognize my faithfulness in small things, gratitude will awaken in you. Gratitude will not deny your pain, but it will keep pain from becoming your whole vision. In the next place, I will teach you to let gratitude open your eyes so you can see that your life is covered with more mercy than sorrow allowed you to notice. My beloved child, as you begin to recognize my faithfulness in small things, I want to teach your heart to see clearly. Let gratitude open your eyes. Not gratitude that pretends nothing hurts. Not gratitude that denies the questions you still carry. I am speaking of gratitude that helps you notice my mercy while your story is unfinished. Let gratitude open your eyes, my beloved child. Pain can make your vision narrow. Waiting can make your heart stare at what has not arrived. Disappointment can train your mind to count only what is missing. But gratitude gently turns your face toward the traces of my love that have been around you all along. You may think gratitude means ignoring the wound. It does not. Gratitude does not erase tears. It does not silence honest sorrow. It does not ask you to call loss good or pretend confusion is easy. Gratitude simply says, even here, Father, I will look for your hand. Even here I will remember that I am not abandoned. My beloved child, gratitude is not a small thing. It is a doorway. When you begin to thank me for what remains, despair loses the power to tell you that nothing is left. When you thank me for daily bread, fear loses the power to say you are forgotten. When you thank me for one step of light, darkness loses the power to say the whole road is hopeless. Remember the door-slappers who cried out for mercy. They were cleansed as they went, but only one returned to give thanks. My son noticed him. Gratitude brought that man back into closeness, not only into cleansing. My beloved child, I want your gratitude to do the same. I want it to lead you back into my presence again. There are blessings you passed by because they came quietly. The strength to rise from bed. The patience to endure one more hour. The food that met your need. The person who listened without judgment. The moment your heart softened instead of hardening. The way you were protected from a path that would have harmed you. These were not accidents. They were signs of my care. Gratitude will teach you to read your life differently. You will stop seeing every delay as rejection. You will stop seeing every closed door as punishment. You will stop seeing every quiet season as emptiness. You will begin to say, Father, I may not understand this, but I know you have been faithful before, and you are still faithful now. My beloved child, a grateful heart becomes sensitive to grace. It notices the small lamp in a dark hallway. It notices the cup filled before thirst becomes despair. It notices the gentle correction that saved a soul from wandering too far. It notices how I carried you through days you once thought you could not survive. This does not mean gratitude always comes easily. Some days your heart may feel too heavy to numb many gifts. On those days, begin small. Thank me for breath. Thank me for my nearness. Thank me for the strength to whisper my name. Thank me that your story is not over. Small gratitude can become a seed of hope. Do not wait until everything is perfect before you give thanks. If gratitude depends on perfect circumstances, it will remain silent most of your life. Give thanks in all circumstances. Not because every circumstance is pleasant, but because I remain God in every circumstance. My presence is worthy of trust before the outcome is visible. My beloved child, gratitude also guards your heart from bitterness. Bitterness grows when pain is remembered without my presence. It says, nothing good has been given. Nothing kind remains. No one cares, but gratitude answers. Mercy was there. Grace helped me stand. Love met me in ways I almost missed. I was kept when I did not know I was being kept. Think of Paul writing from a confined place. He did not have the comfort many would demand before speaking of joy. Yet he learned to rejoice in me because his inner life was not chained to his outer condition. My beloved child, gratitude can make room for joy, even when your circumstances still feel narrow. You may wonder how to practice gratitude when your heart is still waiting. Bring me both. Bring me the longing and the thanks. Say, Father, I still desire what I have prayed for, but I thank you for sustaining me today. I still have questions, but I thank you for not leaving me. I still feel weak, but I thank you that your grace is enough. A grateful heart is not a heart without desire. It is a heart that refuses to let desire become accusation. It is a heart that says, I will not let what I lack blind me to who you are. I will not let one unanswered prayer erase 1,000 quiet mercies. I will not let pain become the only storyteller in my life. My beloved child, gratitude will also soften the way you see others. When you remember how patient I have been with you, you become slower to judge. When you remember how much mercy has carried you, you become more willing to show mercy. When you remember that every good thing is a gift, pride begins to loosen its grip. Let gratitude become part of your daily rhythm. Before you ask, remember. Before you worry, notice. Before you compare, give thanks. Before you sleep, look back and find one place where my hand touched the day. It may be simple. It may seem small, but small thanks offered sincerely opens the soul wider to my peace. My beloved child, I am not asking you to be thankful for evil. I am asking you to trust that my goodness can still be found even in seasons evil tried to spoil. I can bring beauty from ashes. I can bring wisdom from tears. I can bring compassion from suffering. I can bring testimony from what once felt like only pain. As gratitude opens your eyes, you will begin to see that your life has carried more evidence of my love than sorrow allowed you to notice. You will remember moments when help came at the right time. You will remember doors that closed to protect you. You will remember words that strengthened you. You will remember how I stayed. So open your eyes with thanksgiving, my beloved child. Let it lift your head. Let it widen your vision. Let it teach you to see mercy in the ordinary grace, in the delay protection in the no, and love in the quiet. The more you give thanks, the more clearly you will see that I have never stopped caring for you. And as gratitude opens your eyes, you will be ready to let me touch deeper places. In the next part of this letter, I will speak to the wounds you have hidden, the memories you have covered, and the pain you thought you had to carry quietly. I am not only showing you mercy around you, I am bringing healing within you. My beloved child, as gratitude opens your eyes to the mercies around you, I now want to touch the places within you that you have tried to hide. I am healing the wounds you hid, not to expose you with shame, not to make you relive pain without purpose. I am coming as the Father who sees what others missed and loves you there. I am healing the wounds you hid, my beloved child. The wounds beneath your smile, the wounds tucked behind your strength, the wounds you covered with busyness, silence, kindness, and the words, "I am fine." You learned how to keep going while parts of your heart were still asking to be held. I saw it. I saw the moments when you laughed so no one would ask questions. I saw the times you changed the subject because the truth felt too tender. I saw the memories you pushed away because they carried more ache than you knew how to explain. I saw the places where you stopped expecting anyone to understand. My beloved child, hidden pain does not become healed simply because it remains unseen.